Welcome to Rooster Radio, a broadcast dedicated to supporting and promoting local artists in the Gaston County and surrounding areas.
This episode of Rooster Radio is brought to you by Lead Fiddle Guitars. So check it out, y'all. Before we got the Rooster open, we were promoting our business, and I got this random message on Instagram from a guy. His account was Lead Fiddle Guitars, and he started a conversation with me. He started talking to me, telling me that he likes what I was up to, and I'm gonna give a shout out to him right now. Shout out to DJ. And ultimately, he told me that he has this business where he makes guitars, handmade guitars. And through our conversations, it was real inspiring. He asked if I would like to have a guitar made for the Rooster. And that's where this guitar came from. And DJ was kind enough to donate it to the Rooster. We have it hanging on our wall by the stage. It's there for anyone to play an open mic. It sounds amazing. And you can see he took a lot of time. He got our logo burned into the pick guard here. He gave it this worn look. And it's just a beautiful guitar. It's a beautiful guitar that sounds great. What's cool about what he does is he takes wood, reclaimed wood from different stuff. I know right now he's working on a piece of wood that was taken from a piece of the stage at Woodstock. And the original Woodstock, back in 1969, and he's working on this piece. I imagine this is going to have to be a several $1,000 guitar, but he's got all kinds of amazing guitars he's made out of wood that just comes from anywhere. And you could get one made too. Reach out to Lead Fiddle Guitars on Instagram. Reach out to them on Facebook, and if you're in the market for a new guitar, he will make a custom guitar just the way you want it, just the way you like it. And I can attest that they sound great. They sound great on our stage, at least. Of course, that's not when I'm playing it, because I'm not a very good guitar player. So if you're in the market for a unique custom-made guitar, check out Lead Fiddle Guitars on Instagram or at leadfiddleguitars.wixsite.com.
Kind of made a rookie mistake with that, went and got bonded, went and freaking filled out all this paperwork just for them to basically turn me down. But then, it's just another.
They're called barriers to entry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we don't have to have a political discussion about it, but it's funny how fragile the system we live in is. It really is a fragile system. I mean, you saw with COVID how easily people can be broken.
Yeah.
So some people were broke. They, as a person, they broke because of the pandemic. Some of them ain't coming back.
Yeah.
A lot of people are making their way back, but they put systems in place, and it's all it's all done under the guise of protection. We're doing this to protect you. We're doing this to create and on one hand, they're making a good point. Yes, there should be rules to society. Agreed. I'm not a complete and total anarchist. The problem is, a little bit.
Just a smidge.
I do love some chaos every now and then.
Yeah.
But people just are not inherently good. Not everyone's inherently good, so people are always going to make decisions that are hurtful to others. So you got to have laws in place. Some of the laws that are in place are fucking stupid. Weed being illegal still. What the hell is wrong with people? Why haven't they? The whole Schedule 1 Act needs to be, rescinded.
Yeah.
But anyways,
it's getting there.
They create, when it comes to business, the most powerful and richest people in the world have figured out ways to do things that makes it hard for people to compete with them.
Yeah.
And one of those ways is to create a structured system for these businesses to make it really expensive and really hard to get into business for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of that's what that first barrier to entry, just having the knowledge of the laws, that you have to follow to open a bar or to open a restaurant or to open a smoke shop. Where do you find that information? You know what I'm saying?
Tough.
Have you ever read one of these laws? No. Have you ever sat and read a statute?
No.
It reads like you're fucking German.
Yeah.
Like they write, they'll take an entire sheet, an entire page to say one thing. Is they use legal jargon to they have to describe each word and define each word before they actually form a sentence, and it's painstakingly boring to read through. Like I read through a bunch of statutes about signage and stuff, and it's like you could have done this in 3 sentences, but it's done like that on purpose. It's done that way to make it more
deter you
difficult.
from doing it.
Discourage you, yeah.
Yeah, they don't. The powerful people, they don't want independent. They don't like individualism. They don't like people being independent. They want you to be. They want you to need them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the pandemic shined a real bright light on that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But here we are. But what they didn't expect was when you lock a bunch of people up for 2 years, people start getting creative.
Yep, sure do.
People start getting creative, and now you're seeing businesses burgeoning all over the place, which is why you're here. We're talking to Shawn McMullen, by the way.
Yeah.
Who is the owner and proprietor of Urban Woodstock, which is right next door to the Rooster.
Yes,
right
sir.
here on Main Avenue. Just recently opened. Tell your story a little bit. Talk about how you went from where you were, from Kansas. Start from Kansas City, because he's not a native, but you're here now.
Yes, I've been in the Charlotte area, for like 6 years now. My wife actually took a job down here, so that's what brought us here. Always kind of been in the smoke industry, something that I've just had a passion about. I've always just loved being around it, being around the stuff that's involved with it, the smoking accessories, everything that's involved with the smoke
culture
shop.
and all that.
The culture, the cannabis culture, everything. It's just something that since I've been a teenager, I've absolutely have fallen in love with. As far as like trying to get the business up and going, I literally been in flea markets for years, literally pulling tables out of the trunk of my car, whether it's selling vapes, water pipes, stuff like that, T-shirts, or just knickknacks, gifts of just whatever.
So like every Saturday, Sunday morning, you're loading up and you're heading to. Now, were you at the Dallas flea market?
I was out at the Dallas flea market. I was actually out there for like a year. Kind of got in a little bit of controversy over there. It kind of pushed me out of there. So, people from Gastonia, Dallas, and the surrounding areas go out there, and there's a good chance you possibly see me there.
Yep.
So please, if you see me, come back and check me out.
Yeah.
So from Dallas, I moved up to Salisbury to Webb Road. Spent about a year up there. Business took off good up there as well. But the store has just been a dream of mine literally for years. And it just...
Was there a smoke shop in Kansas City that you would go into all the time?
Of course there was.
Man, it'd be so cool if I could do that.
Yes, there actually, there was a smoke shop back there called Seventh Heaven, but it was not only a smoke shop, it was a music store. I mean, it had everything in it. Like, it was just a cool counterculture shop. Nice. And it's just something that I just loved it. I moved out here, and then I found another shop out here called Infinity Inn.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're over in Charlotte. Yep. Guys got like 6 or 7 stores. I've heard he's been in the game for like since the 60s, 70s.
Yep.
So
they actually used to sell blue jeans in the 70s when that was the only place you could get the super wide bell bottoms. That's according to my mom. So.
Yeah, and like, when I found that store, I was just like, man, this is like one of the coolest stores.
It is, yeah. I remember being a teenager. We'd we'd make a whole day of it to go to Infinity's Inn and Rock and Roll Emporium on Independence.
I miss Rock and Roll Emporium.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, man, I do the trade shows. I try to find the newest product that I can find. Sometimes I feel like I try to stay a step ahead of like the typical smoke shops that you see on every corner. I try to stay with like what they want. I try to I search for stuff from here to California, literally.
Oh,
and then when it comes down to it, like if you come into my shop, there's something I don't have, just let me know because, man,
because you'll find it.
I will find it if it's possible. If it's out there, I can almost guarantee you I can find it. I got stacks of connections over there.
So you did the flea market thing for a few years. When you started looking to set up a shop, what made you choose Gastonia?
You know, I wanted to be in an area that's up and coming, that's like this. You know, I like what everything's going on over here. I can't wait till it takes off.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, when I was out at the Dallas flea market, I actually tried to call this place for rent just a couple doors down from you. Could never get a response from her or he or whoever owns that place. And so I just pretty much just gave up, just continued with the flea market stuff. And one day, man, kind of have a small little delivery service, not doing too much of that right now, but I was back over here and I was like, you know what, I'm going to drive up. But actually, before this, when I was trying to call, I seen you wasn't quite open yet, but at the same time, I seen what you had in the window, and like, I had an idea what you had going on. I'm just thinking, like I told my wife, I'm like, man, this would be cool if I can get in over on this block because, you know. Yeah. So then jump back to, I was doing deliveries. I came back by and seen this spot right next to you open. So I gave the guy a call. He actually answered my phone call. Yeah. And then everything, you know, I took over the building February 1st. It's been a struggle. It's been hard, but we're getting through it. We've ran into a bunch of roadblocks. You know, currently right now I'm dealing with the big one. Got a big old.
Well, we won't put all that business out there. Like, I know you've had to close a little bit to have some stuff done in the building that's beyond your control.
Definitely beyond my control, but hopefully in 2 weeks, man, I'm up and rolling again.
Well, I mean, I could see you were starting to pick up. You're getting momentum, so it'll pick back up.
It definitely was.
Look, it was tough for me. I opened in the middle of October, which is right before, Thanksgiving, Christmas, every holiday, the winter. Like, I opened up at the worst possible time. Yeah. Like, everyone's going into hibernation, not coming out. And then, there were nights where, it's like 15 degrees outside, and I'm trying to do a show, like it's hard to get people out.
Yeah.
But fortunately, they haven't took it from me yet. We're gonna keep pumping out content, keep pumping out shows, and my man Shawn here, he's right next door, so you can come kill two birds with one stone. You can come re-up on your stuff, and then you can come hang out here and have a beer, see a show.
Yeah, I mean,
it couldn't be a better location.
If you guys, you're coming to the show. If you like the vapes, don't stop at the other station down the street. Come and get your vape. I'm right next door. Yeah. Saves you a trip. Yeah. So I got them over there. I also carry like tie-dyes.
You got skateboards over there?
Got some skateboards.
That's what caught my attention were the skateboards.
And I ran an ad on the skateboards. I was getting some good feedback from them. I kind of got something up my sleeve. I would like to actually expand the skateboard a little bit, but we'll see. Over time,
you got a decision to make there, because if you kind of hybrid in skate shop, you got to have room for inventory and parts and all that.
And see, that's the new thing, like with smoke shops now, like ones that are, I want to say American owned. Mm-hmm. They're turning these into hybrid shops. They're kind of like an Infinity Inn, but they're jumping into other stuff. Yeah. Like you go into smoke shops, you see the disc. The people play the frisbee golf disc. You see those in a lot of places. But so that's basically what one day I'm gonna be trending into, is like a hybrid store where you can just come in, just an all around cool counterculture shop, whether it comes to a smoking accessory, a skateboard, some trucks maybe in the future or something like that, a tie-dye T-shirt, some incense.
I like it a lot.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get there, man. I'm gonna try my hardest to get there as well.
We're in the same boat, brother.
Yes.
And I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
You're a great neighbor. You're a great neighbor for sure. You're stepping into. We've got this big Rooster Olympics coming up in June, which, by the way, we have not officially announced the lineup, but it's out there. Rooster Olympics will be on June 24th. We've permitted the parking lot in the back. We're going to have a stage outside with lights and sound. We're going to have multiple food trucks, a whole misfit market. We got 20 vendors. 20 vendor misfit market in the parking lot. And one of those vendors will be Urban Woodstock.
That's right. I'll be there. Be there with some tie-dye, some trays,
That's awesome.
Some cool stuff. Definitely come and check me out. Give me your feedback. Tell me what you want. Like when it comes to this counterculture shop industry, tell me what you want because I want to bring it in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is right. It's an opportunity to kind of get to know the local business owner, but also it's an opportunity to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what we want. And Shawn's been even kind enough to make a donation for our raffle. So for those who don't know, there's a raffle going on right now. Missy with Creative Music Management has bought a purple guitar that she's going to raffle off. So tickets are $5 a ticket, and I think you get like 5 for 20 or something like that. Anyways, so Shawn has an announcement to make in regards to the raffle.
So, like I said, what's better than one? Having two. So on behalf of Urban Woodstock, we are going to donate a Jackson electric guitar to the Rooster Olympics on my behalf of Urban Woodstock, man.
That thing is.
I'm so glad to. I'm just glad to be able to donate this. I'm glad to be able to be a part of something that's helping, something that stands dear to your heart, as you told me.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm looking forward to being here. I'm looking forward to being next to you. Looking forward to trying to get this block up and going again.
Yeah.
Thank you so
and
much,
on
man.
behalf of Urban Woodstock, bro, here you go, man.
Thank you. This is a badass guitar, guys. It's beautiful. That black matte finish is dope. So this will be raffled off as well at Rooster Olympics. So now you have even more reasons to buy a raffle ticket at Rooster Olympics. And just so you know, Rooster Olympics, it's a concert for a cause. I don't talk a whole lot about my family on here, but I do have a son who was a student at Webb Street School here in Gaston County. And Webb Street is a school that's specifically for disabled children. And so he was able to attend school and have a social life, because this school existed.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them out there, and they're poorly funded because they're part of the county school system. And these kids, they need more attention. They need more resources, more equipment than normal schools do. And they don't have a football program bringing in revenue, baseball, that kind of thing. So whenever they need something, they have to fight really, really hard to get it. And so that's why we committed to making our summer fundraiser for Webb Street School. Right now, what they're trying to get is some interactive equipment in their gymnasium. Oh. So some of these kids are in wheelchairs, but some of them aren't.
Yeah.
And the ones that aren't, they like to get up and move around. You want, specifically kids with Down syndrome, you want to keep them active because Down syndrome kids tend to gain a lot of weight and get inactive. And this interactive equipment will help them move around more, and it's fun. But it's expensive, and it's not something that the county is going to pay for. Yeah. We could take care of it all if enough people show up. Yeah. I think they need like $40,000. Yeah. We can do that. If enough people show up, buy tickets, and then donate money and buy raffle tickets, we could raise all that money for them. Imagine how cool would that be?
Yeah, I mean,
that would
do
be
we get
really
to name
awesome.
do I get to name the gymnasium if we do that? Can we get the Roosters?
And get in the raffle, get a cool electric guitar, man, and rock on.
Yeah, so definitely come be a part of something special at the Rooster Olympics and get you a raffle ticket. Get you a bunch of raffle tickets and increase your chances. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you so much for this,
man,
Shawn.
you're
I really
very
appreciate
welcome,
it.
man. Thank you for letting me come over and be a part of this, man. I'm glad.
I'm glad it was
everything
you.
happens for a reason, bro.
I'm glad it was you that moved in next door, because there's a lot of businesses that could have moved in next door that might not have been happy with us being neighbors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I had other options, man. I honestly had other options on this block, but I picked to come next to you. And the reason being is, I like your crowd. I like what you have going. And, man, I want to be a part of it, man.
Yeah, everyone loves your shop, man. A lot of people that come in here go into your shop. I have a great relationship with most of the other downtown businesses, and I try to promote and cross-promote. I don't get a lot of reciprocation from that outside of you. But that's okay. I get it. We're all trying to make money. We're all busy. It is time-consuming and difficult to put energy into something that doesn't really make you money. I will say, a couple of these restaurants around here could do a little better job of helping us promote shows with all the money they're making off of us right now. Yeah, I think we're probably putting an extra $1,000 a week in somebody's pocket down here.
Yeah. But we'll get there, man. I think it's coming, man. We just got to weather this little storm for the next 6 to 8 maybe even a year.
Yeah.
Once everything gets going next door, and I think
was
we'll be
actually
okay.
having that conversation with my husband yesterday. I was like, once this section, and because you got the ball field right down the road,
Yeah.
and once all this other stuff, they finish all this other things up, it's just gonna just snowball into.
Oh yeah, it's going to explode.
It is, and I can't wait because I've seen this downtown area just sit here dead for so long.
Well, a lot of it was perception, you know. Like that's why the other side of the county stays so busy, and all the money and investment got put in it. Now the money and investment's getting put here, but that's boring stuff to talk about. What I'm really curious about is because I have zero understanding of, because the laws keep changing in North Carolina for the flour and the CBD and the Delta 8, Delta 9, whatever. Give me a rundown. Like help me educate me and my audience of like, where are we at right now? What are you allowed to do? And what are we missing? Like, how do we get to where we want to be?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to try to give you as much info as I can, as I know. I try to stay on top of this stuff, but the game is changing so much. I know North Carolina is really, really trying. I mean, I know there's crazy, whatever they're trying to do in Raleigh. I know, but I think, honestly, they're getting there. Coming from a recreational state and a medical state, they're doing basically the same type of stuff that Missouri is doing, and now, they're booming. As far as like the CBD, and like the Delta, all the Delta stuff, you got to keep it under that 3% federal law.
3% THC.
0.03%. So not like 3 points. It's got to be 0.3.
0.3% THC.
Yeah, is like the federal law.
So how do you extract that from the flower? Is it a specific type of bud that is grown that to be like that? Like, and what's your typical percentage of THC in flower to begin with?
I mean, I personally have had flower in 30%. Coming from legal dispensaries from other states.
That's the shit that'll fry your wig off.
I mean, it can, yes.
Put you in a coma.
But it's changing. A lot of the stuff with the Delta 8 products. You got HHC and all that stuff that's in it that people like that they're also pulling from the plant. It's tough to try to stay up on top of this stuff. I try to read as much as possible. Sometimes I don't have all the answers for it. The thing about when it comes to like CBD products, Delta 9 products, Delta 8 products, anything in that category, it comes down to a preference, because what's working for you, there's a chance it's not going to work for the other person.
And the majority of people that buy these products are looking to cure some sort of ailment, or at least alleviate symptoms of an ailment.
Man, I get people that come in and just tell me, hey, I buy these Delta 9 or these Delta 8 gummies because they help me sleep at night. Or I buy it because I just simply get a buzz off of it. And then I get people that want just plain CBD gummies with nothing in it, no type of highness or anything like that, just because it helps them sleep, it helps them with pain, and it does anxiety. I mean, there's all kinds of benefits from this plant,
Right. You know what? Yeah, you don't have to sell me on that.
Yeah,
I'm in complete agreement.
Yeah.
It's just everybody comes in with the different something that they're telling me that just one person tells me it does for them, the next person it does something completely different.
And part of your job, which you seem to be really good at, is matching the right product up with the right people.
Yes, it is, and that could be tough too. Just trying to, because another thing, this stuff is changing at a rapid pace. I might get a brand in that just took off, blew out, then I might not ever seen that brand again.
One and done.
Just a one and done type stuff, but it's always changing, man. It's just, and honestly, when the legalization comes around, probably like all the Delta products, it's probably going to be obsolete one day.
I think there's a percentage of people that will always want to use that stuff because I'm a huge advocate for marijuana legal. I'm a huge advocate for drug legalization in general. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it has nothing to do with chaos or anything like that. I wholeheartedly believe that if you legalize drugs and regulate them in a way that makes it safe to take, you're going to end up with less addiction, less overdose.
So Right now, the big thing is kind of taking off. It's called THCA flower. So it's hemp flower. THCA is in all forms of marijuana, but now THCA is in a hemp flower. So basically, when you warm it up, you put the lighter to it, smoke it, however you smoke it. It activates the THC in it. I do have some of that, and the good thing about it is I have some from local growers in the state of North Carolina.
Look at that.
Love that. If you are looking to try it out, come and see me, because I have stuff from out of state as well, but I do carry from a local hemp grower here in the state of North Carolina, and they put good quality product out there.
Nice. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's good to know that we got somebody locally here that's
believe it or not, man, there is actually a lot of local in this business when it comes to this. A lot of hemp farms out there that I have met. Mooresville, there's a few good people up there that I have met. There's a lot of stuff when it comes to like the Delta products, the THCA products, all of this stuff. There is a lot of it that's made right here in the state of North Carolina, and I'm working on that right now because I want to get people stuff that's made in our own state of North Carolina.
Yeah,
in my
support
shop.
local for sure.
Now,
are the growers that you're talking about, have they had a hard time with banks? Because I know, like, even in states that are fully recreational legal, there's still a lot of companies that have a hard time finding banks to work with.
Well, right now.
Well, the banks. And the reason why, I'll explain it. The federal government has not legalized marijuana yet.
Right.
A lot of states have. Well, most banks operate on a federal level, and the DEA, at any moment, can just decide we're taking this shit. We're shutting this down.
Yeah.
And that's why banks won't fuck with these companies. They won't let them put their money in their banks. And so for a lot of places, it becomes a cash business. So like when you go out to Cali, a lot of the smoke shops, if you don't have cash, you have to use a debit card. You can't use a credit card.
Or they have an ATM in their shop.
They have an ATM in the shop. Yeah. Yep. And the reason for that is because banks reserve the right to freeze your money and give it to the ATF or the DEA if they so choose. So now, a smart banker would start a new fucking bank for
Just
these
for that,
businesses and tell the federal government to eat a dick. Set the bank up overseas, so that they can't come after them and open up shop here in America.
Yeah.
Are you going to start a bank, Michael?
Dude, if I had those resources, I'd have already done it.
Yeah, well, I mean that
because I know this is a real problem.
Yeah, it is.
Not only like if it comes federally, it's going to cause a lot of those problems are going to be resolved. But in states that are legalized, man, there's a lot of jobs that legalization states have provided just for transportation, like having a guy come and pick the money up and taking it to their warehouse or somewhere,
But not only does it create jobs, it generates a shitload of tax revenue, which, if it were up to me, 100% of tax revenue from marijuana products would go straight into our school system.
Yeah.
That would be a stipulation. If I was a state senator, I'd be like, the only way this is getting passed is if this money goes to the schools. Pay teachers better.
Imagine how awesome our schools would be.
I'm saying, right? So that's one thing.
It does work, man.
But and then this is my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt, but I think that the reason that we've been so slow, because the minute Joe Biden got elected as our president, should that not have been one of the first things that they did? Was just, all right, enough of this horse shit, we're legalizing pot. But I think the reason it doesn't happen is because, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the rich and the powerful. They got to figure out a way to keep guys like me and you from getting in on it.
If they legalize it, our country would be out of debt in a month.
Yeah,
Literally.
They got to make sure they put those right barriers in place so that only the people they want selling it can sell it. And that's part of the problem, man. I truly believe that the legalization would have already happened on a national level if it weren't for cronyism.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like, it would help everybody because you got the people who use it for pain management or anxiety, and I read an article the other day where somebody took it for they gave it to their son to help with like his seizures. Had never had never had a seizure after they continuously took it.
I mean, I've heard stories just with CBD.
Yeah.
Well, when North Carolina, before they legalized CBD, they ran a study, and my son was one of the participants in the CBD oil study for seizures, and it was working.
Yeah.
It was working, but he hit puberty, and when he hit puberty, everything
Changed.
went haywire, and it stopped working on the seizures, which was a real bummer for me. But then they ended up legalizing anyway, the CBD part, which was great. I'm happy that it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But enough with the nonsense.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Get out of the way of progress.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I know for a fact that it helped a friend of mine, my best friend. She had cancer, and she was losing weight due to the chemo. And her friends were like, enough, and they just shut the doors and they hotboxed her bedroom because she wasn't eating.
Well, it's going to give you appetite too.
And they they made it a plan every single day after work. They met, they hotboxed her. She got her appetite back. She gained her weight back because she's a 6 foot tall woman who was down to 90 pounds.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's like, I would have died if they hadn't have done that.
There's so many success stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you go on and on.
We could have we're not going to, but we could have a conversation about mushrooms. You know, how, mushroom has a history that like predates modern society.
Yeah.
Like if you take the time to do some research, like there's evidence, proof that, very, very, what's the, early civilization. What is it? What's the caveman type, civilization?
Yeah.
Ritual. Yeah, primitive. That's the word I'm looking for. God damn it. So, primitive society. Sorry. Thank you, Rob. The man. But no, there's evidence that these primitive civilizations would use mushroom in these ritualistic ways, and they were used not to get fucked up. They were used to achieve enlightenment.
Yeah.
And
That's even with mushrooms now. I mean, they're really now starting to find out the effects, what it can do for people. At a small, very dose.
well, there are centers, like research centers that have been given the green light to do psychedelic research.
Yeah.
And
like I've heard it's really good with people with migraines. Like it will, it'll literally wipe a migraine out in a heartbeat. Like,
yeah, they're doing a lot with PTSD with the veterans. They're using mushrooms and other psychedelics. MDMA is another one that's being used to help alleviate symptoms of PTSD. People are getting their life back.
Yeah.
Like people, like legit, unfunctioning people who can't get past whatever it is, emotionally, mentally, and these psychedelics and marijuana is helping them live a life that matters.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine the fucking the cruelty of knowing that this thing exists.
And they're holding it from us.
And not allowing it to, that's cruel. That's hateful.
But my point was, like, going back to the whole cycle, it can heal, and then, like, the money from it could go back, like you said, into the school system. We could be out of debt.
Not have potholes in the road anymore.
Oh, gosh.
I believe it would alleviate poverty.
Yeah.
It would, but it's just like they're holding it because, like you said, it goes back to the power.
Yeah, look, man, we live in a world full of douches, man.
It's a shit show.
It's really is.
2020.
That's why I opened this place. I got tired of being mad about it. I was like, let me do something about it.
Yeah.
Do something fun to add to the dumpster fire.
Yeah. Let me raise some hell here. But no, I really appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate your insight. I love that you're our neighbor here. I hope that you will all come check out Urban Woodstock. They'll be up and running again in a week or so.
Hope so, man.
Getting through some construction issues.
I'm sad I have to miss this 420 holiday.
Hey, come here. We got the Carolina vibes here.
I did hear
we got
that.
a Regis. You want to
set up a booth?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You want to set up a booth here at 420?
Dude, I might be able to. I mean, the thing, my office over there is a lot of my stuff is in my office, and they literally got it all taped up, and I literally have a pile of dirt.
That's their problem, man. Get your shit out of there.
And I just I literally almost can't.
You need
It's
a
because it's so
table?
blocked off. I mean, I got a table.
Well,
was
you
like,
got a few days.
Let me get over there this week, and we'll do
Yeah,
that.
if you want to set up a booth, like we've got the little area by the stage, we can have you come set up a booth for 420. We can all promote it together.
How appropriate would that be?
Yeah, that'd
Dude,
be
I might
that'd be
take you up
perfect.
on that offer for real.
Yeah, hey, you might make a few bucks while you're closed down.
Nothing wrong with
So
that, man.
check out Urban Woodstock. You got a website, social media? You want to promote
We're
that?
definitely on Facebook, just straight up Urban Woodstock. We're on Instagram. Instagram is a little slow. I really don't post too much on there. But I am on Instagram, straight up Urban Woodstock. But the majority of the action is going down through Facebook as of right now. So
Right.
please give me a follow, like my page. I'll keep you updated on everything going on when I will be back up and running, hopefully in a week or two. But until then, just wait for me, and I'll be back, and I'm coming back strong.
Yes.
And he'll be at Rooster Olympics.
I sure will.
And also at the Brewstock Festival.
sir.
He'll be a vendor at both of those events and possibly here on 420.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just,
Awesome.
You're going to be seeing me around here. I'm here to stay, man. I'm here to get this block booming again.
Awesome.
I appreciate
and
that.
And I'm glad to do it with you, bro, for real.
Thanks a lot, brother. I appreciate you, Shawn. Come check us out. We got all kinds of fun stuff going on. Go to the events tab on our website, theroostergastonia.com. We got the 420 show this week. We've got the Bleeding Hearts Ball this Saturday. We got a country show Friday with Caleb Wolf, and then a whole lot of other fun stuff coming down the pipeline. Stay tuned. Peace and love.
Peace. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.